freaking righty. Welcome back to another one of Swift Pours. We are going to hit the 10th Mountain Distillery out of Vail, Colorado's lineup. This is kind of their core lineup for the whiskey and bourbon enthusiasts. We got the rye, the straight bourbon, and then an American Single Malt. And this batch right here is brand new as of about a month or two ago. So super excited to try all of these. First, let's dive into some history behind these guys. I really wanted to highlight this because it captures what's going on with the bottle and the history and the core of what they are today. So, I'm going to read it straight from their website just because I don't want to butcher it and I'm not a historian, so I want to make sure I do great. Camp Hale, the legendary home of the 10th Mountain Division, was constructed in 1942, located 22 miles west of Vail between Leadville and Minturn in the Pando Valley. The initial population of Camp Hale included 15,000 soldiers, 3,000 administrative, medical, and other non-skiing staff, 5,000 mules, and about 200 dogs. In January of 1945, the 10th deployed to Italy's Apennines Mountains, where they would battle the German army for the next 2.5 months. On May 2nd, 1945, Germany surrendered to the Allies in Florence, Italy, ending the 10th Italian campaign. After World War II, many of the 10th Mountain Division warriors came home to the USA and continued skiing. The 10th Mountain Division veterans started many of the U.S. ski areas we know and love. At least 62 ski resorts have been founded and managed by former 10th Mountain Division veterans. The 10th Mountain Division was basically a hardcore, almost special forces unit that was based out of Vail, Colorado, and they would ski and shoot and hill climb like a ton, like a lot. That's what they specialized in, was mountain warfare. So on the labels, you will see, like on the American Single Malt, you'll see the guy walking. He's got skis in his hand. That is a 10th Mountain Infantryman. So let's dive on in. I'm going to kind of do some switch up than what we're used to. I'm going to go from bourbon to rye, take a drink of water, and then do American Single Malt. American Single Malt is just a little bit more different. It's now its own category in the bourbon whiskey community, and it comes off a little different than a bourbon and a rye does. So I want to refresh the palate, hit the American Single Malt, hit nose, taste, finish, and what I think. So here we go. Let's dive on in. Behind each bottle is a glass. We'll do bourbon first. So here we go. Let's hit the nose. Ooh. It reminds me of like fall. Like the smell is just like, I don't know, kind of like that. You walk outside and that breeze hits you in the fall. At least in the Midwest, you kind of walk out and it's like, it just smells like fall. Like a fall home decor store. I like the smell on that a lot. Light notes of vanilla with a little bit of nutmeg, maybe cinnamon. Sweet corn note, like you would smell off of a really higher corn bourbon. Really light, but really pleasant. Let's hit the taste. Ooh, that's good. That's easy. It's sweet, but super easy to sip. Like, super, super easy to sip. You kind of get that sweet corn note. That's kind of what I got hit with the most, but let me do it again. So second go, it's like a cane sugar, a nutmeg, a little bit of cinnamon, and like a bitter, man, I don't know, it's like a bitter rye taste almost. It's super, super faint. It's not aggressive. But that sweet corn note comes through a lot, which is kind of odd. So it's really good. It just reminds me of like a fall bourbon. Like if I could classify this as anything, I would say, oh yeah, if you want a good fall bourbon, right here. It's just really good. It's just got a little bit of the spice and sweetness to it. That, not bad. I like it. Finish is really good. It's like up front, you get kind of that sweet taste. And then about mid-palate, you're getting that kind of that wryness I'm telling you about, that little bitterness and a little bit of a drying effect. And then the back end is coming together with kind of like a sweet grain and corn note that rides out for a little bit. I really enjoy it. It's very light. It's very easy to sip on. The ethanol doesn't hit you in the face. I really enjoy it. That's a really good bourbon. Heck yeah. And I want to say that it is 2 years old, 92 proof, and it's Rocky Mountain bourbon whiskey. So I really enjoyed that. I didn't know what to expect, but that was really, really good. And it's way different than anything I've got on the shelf, which is always nice to have, is something unique and different. So that's really good. Let's take a sip of water, and we'll hit rye. All right, here's the rye. Our rye is aged in new oak barrels for 2 years. It is 86 proof, and it is a high rye. Usually it's 95% rye, 5% malted barley. I did not check prior, but I'm sure it's pretty close to that. Even cooler about this bottle, you can see, the 10th Infantryman down here, but it even comes with a dog tag, and also tells you the information on there. So like mine says distiller was Ryan, batch number 85, bottle 11/21/24. So super, super cool and different. Then on the other side, you got the 10th Mountain emblem. So really cool. Marketing's on point. Let's dive on into the rye. Woo-hoo-hoo. That smells good. It smells like candy. Oh, yeah. You know when you go into like a warehouse of like a rick house or something, and you kind of get that sweet corn hit? It's that for sure, but like, this should be a damn candle. Like vanilla, buttery, a little bit of like a toffee or caramel, brown sugar a little bit. Oh my God. Dude, that's a dessert nose right there. I love the smell of this. Heck yeah. It's at the taste. I'm pumped. That smells so freaking good. That's easy. That's so easy. It is 86 proof, which makes it super easy to sip on. There's not ethanol hit at all. Super freaking smooth. But it tastes like the end of like a Woodford Double Oak Private Pick. You get kind of that buttery, toffee, caramel taste. Oh my God. If I had this blind, I would have never, ever, ever guessed it was a rye. Super smooth, super easy. This would be an excellent beginner rye because it's not overpowering on the grain. Like the malted barley comes in for a lot of people on those ryes, which is weird to me because it's only like 5%, but a lot of people pick that out. And then most importantly, the rye harshness. A lot of people don't want to get into ryes because it's harsh and it has that weird grassy taste. This tastes like a bourbon with high corn content, and it is so like smooth, simple, light, but tons of like dessert buttery flavor. That is, oh my God. Let's hit the finish. I finished that glass because that rye is exceptional. Oh my God, man. It's like up front you think you're going to get hit with that ethanol, and you don't. It's just not going to be there. It's faint. Right when you get hit with ethanol, you're getting hit with all the flavors. So you're getting hit with this tiny hint of ethanol, and then you go on to like a sweet corn note, to like a sweet tea-ish note. And then about mid-palate, you pick up the butteriness, the little bit of brown sugar, the caramel or toffee that ride it out, and a little bit like a peanut note at the end, like a peanut butter note, like a creamy peanut butter note. It's very, very faint. It's not super strong at all on that peanut butter note, and it rides out. You don't taste oak. You don't taste anything. It's just a smooth, buttery, like really freaking good, smooth double oaked is what it tastes like. And I would never guess that that was a rye, ever. If that was in a blind, I would have lost 1,000%. That's so damn good. Wow. Well, let's take a drink of water and then we'll hit American Single Malt. I'm pumped about this one. I've seen some good stuff on their Instagram about it, so we'll dive on in. All right. The American Single Malt. Nothing's more American than American Single Malt, made by an American company that supports all of the American troops in World War II and all the troops now, because they do some badass shit in the veteran community. So definitely check them out. Also, I'll put all their information in the video description below. Please check these guys out. All right, took a drink of water. Let's hit the American Single Malt's nose. Yeah, it smells like a malt. I love the smell of malt. It's like a malted barley smell. It's not like a beer, but it's like a really grainy smell. Yeah, it's like a grainy smell. I always think of like hay when I smell it, but like a sweet hay, if that makes any sense at all. It's kind of a sweet hay. Maybe a little vanilla. I don't know. A little vanilla, maybe a tiny bit of like an almond smell, but that's about it. I can't come up with a lot on the nose for an American Single Malt. But sweet hay, little almond, maybe a little vanilla. Let's give it a taste. That's pretty dang good. That's pretty good. If you don't like the malted barley notes, you're probably not going to get into this one. It's pretty heavy on that malted barley taste. Golly, I love American Single Malt, so like this is right up my alley. I really enjoy this. Yeah, it's the same off the nose almost. I kind of picked up a little bit of a honey hit, so I'm getting kind of like right up front. You're getting kind of like malted barley. You're getting a little bit of sweetness, like a sweet hay note is the best way I can put it. And then you kind of get this little hint of like pure cane sugar, and then it segues into like kind of a honey, like a honey nut almost, not honey nut Cheerios, but like a honey and an almond skin. But it's super mellow, and it blends in with that kind of that sweet hay smell, and blends out at the end. And there's not any oakiness or anything at all in this at all. It's just all of those notes I just mentioned, and they smooth out to a point at the end. I really enjoy it. I like my American Single Malts on ice, so I'll have a rocks glass and pour some American Single Malt over a big ice cube. And I'll probably be doing that later, because this is really, really good, and I really enjoyed the malted barley. So, all right. Well, in my opinion, I think these guys are freaking good. I haven't had a single pour out of any of these bottles anywhere, so I was really, really excited when they told me that, yeah, we'll send you a couple samples. Was not expecting full bottles, and I am not complaining. And being a part of the military community, I really was intrigued by these guys' story, what they do, different stuff, that like all the spirits they make. It doesn't just stop at bourbon and whiskey. I think they had some vodkas and some other crazy stuff on their website, and their story is really, really awesome. I love the people who support veterans like this, and I love the story, and the bourbon's really freaking good. So even for being so young, like I think all these are 2 years old. The only one I wasn't sure about was this guy, 2 years old. So they're all pretty light on color, which is kind of scary at points, because you're like, man, that could be really bad. But even being like that light in color, there's so much taste, and I am not let down at all. That rye is freaking nuts. That is probably my favorite out of these. This one will probably be way up there when I put some ice in it, just because that's what I do with American Single Malts. So I guarantee you I'll enjoy this even more later. But that one just stole the show for me. That rye is absolutely just... If I was Italian, I mean, it is freaking good. So, I think these guys... I know this guy runs about $24 to $30 around here. I've actually not seen these two bottles at all around here. I've seen this on Instagram, and I want to say it's about $70, I want to say. Could be wrong. And the rye, I am not sure, just because I haven't seen it. Golly, if you guys see this company on the shelves, pick it up, try it. If you see it at a bar, get a pour of it. I was not let down. Just know that you're getting into a lower proof. So you're a little bit younger on age, and a lot of people are age snobs and want it, oh, it has to be 4 years and older and blah, blah. If you're not one of those people and you're fine with a 2-year bourbon or a rye, I recommend this for sure. And I love their story and I love what they stand for. Heck yeah, check these guys out. Put all the stuff below in the link descriptions. And yeah, so without further ado, let's go ahead and do the signature see you later. Cheers.